Hey, what's good? It's the Scholar Dio, and I'm here with the long anticipated UFC 214 analysis and predictions, headlined by Daniel Cormier and John Jones. Okay, the first fight on the main card, we got Jimmy Emmanuel versus Vulcan Demir. Now, this is a great fight. You have two really good strikers, two very powerful strikers. I don't see this fight going past the first round. Jimmy Manuel, he's very calculated. He's very poised, not overly aggressive, and he doesn't even have that much output. But when he lands, he makes it count. And he has Vulcan Ozdemir. In his fight with Ovince Prude, he was very aggressive. He was constantly moving forward, pushing the pace, and it was impressive what he did on short notice. And his last fight versus Misha Serkinov, nobody expected that. Knocked him out really within the first minute. So that was very impressive. As I said, I see both fighters trying to keep this on the feet, and get the knockout. I think if either one initiates the wrestling, I think it'll be Vulcan. I've seen his previous fights. He's gone to wrestling a little bit. I think he'll probably try to go to his wrestling if he feels like he's losing the exchanges on the feet, or if he gets tagged. As for my predictions, I have to go with Jimmy Manuel. I've just seen more of him. I think he's just more proven, But Vulcan, he does possess that knockout power, so you never know. But I just think, off what I've seen, I could have to go with Jimmy Manuel until proven otherwise. The next fight on the card, this is a great matchup as well. Robbie Lawler versus Donald Cerrone. You have two very dangerous strikers. You have Robbie Lawler, man. He's just a fucking savage, man. And you have Donald Cerrone, man, just ultra skilled. Both of these guys, they're both coming off knockout losses, so they're gonna be looking to get back in the win column. You know, I think Robbie Lawler, in order for him to win this fight, he wants to get inside. He wants to be aggressive. Have Donald Cerrone on the back foot, get in boxing range, and I think he'll definitely win the fight if he can keep that in boxing range and avoid the kicks of Donald Cerrone. And I feel like for Donald Cerrone, he wants to keep the fight in kicking range, and he also wants to be aggressive. I think Donald Cerrone want to really use his kicks and also mix in some takedown attempts. Just to keep it unpredictable. Even though Robbie Lawler has incredible takedown defense, Cerrone he's a very underrated wrestler himself. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to attempt to get the fight to the ground. For a prediction, I have to go with Robbie Lawler. I think Robbie Lawler gonna get the stoppage. I just think he hits incredibly hard, and I feel like his aggression plus his power is gonna give him the victory in this fight. I think Cerrone, he has trouble with fighters who are very aggressive and fighters who make him back up. So I think Robbie Lawler is gonna take this one. The next fight, we have Chris Cyborg versus Tanya Avenger. Now I think this is actually a better matchup than the original fight versus Megan Anderson. I think Tanya Avenger, she poses a different problem, and Megan Anderson, she was just gonna stand up, try to exchange with Cyborg, which is really not a good path if you want to beat her. I think Tanya Avenger, she's gonna do anything she can to take this fight to the ground, and she's very good on the ground, very strong wrestler, and she's very good, when she gets on top of her opponents. I think Cyborg, we all know what she gonna try to do. She gonna try to sprawl and brawl, try to get the knockout immediately. I actually think Tanya, she can maybe drag this fight into the second and third round if she keeps in close quarters, keeps wearing on Cyborg in a clinch, keeps trying to take her down, not allow Cyborg to get her strikes off. But ultimately, I think Cyborg, she's just gonna her striking is just way too powerful. She's just way too powerful. She's also really good on the ground. I think Tanya is good, but I think Cyborg can hold her own on the ground as well if it goes there. But I think the discrepancy standing up will be just too much, and I see Cyborg probably getting a knockout first or second round. Alright, the co-main event, Tyron Willy versus Damian Maia. Now you have Damian Maia finally getting his title shot, after a crazy win streak. He deserved it even before the Masvidal fight, in my opinion. But he's finally getting it. This fight, he had a this fight was pretty quick turnaround for him, coming off his win against Masvidal. Obviously, we know what Damian Maia is going to try to do. He's going to try to take this fight to the ground, get your back, and try to choke Tyron Willy out. Damian Maia, he's very impressive with his wrestling, man. His wrestling is incredible. How he's able to just chain together takedowns, how he's able to pull half guard, get the sweep, how he's able to, just outposition every opponent he faces. And you have Tyron Willy, man. Tyron Willy, super explosive, super fast. He's also a great wrestler. That's just why this is an intriguing matchup, because Tyron Willy has a 92% takedown defense rate. So it'll be interesting to see the approach Maia takes in trying to get this fight to the ground. And Tyron, he wants to keep this fight on the feet and get the knockout, but he don't want to overreach, and let Maia get under him. And also, I don't think Tyron should be scared of really going to the ground, because Tyron has really great ground and pound. And Maia, he'll put himself in that half guard position where Tyron is very strong at, and he can land some devastating ground and pound. So I think Tyron, he should be definitely cautious when he's on the ground, but he should definitely use that opportunity if he's on top to land some ground and pound. I think ultimately Damian Maia, he can win this fight if he just applies the pressure. Tyron, he likes to back up to the cage, and that would be a good position for Damian Maia to push on him, clinch up, and hopefully wear him down, try to drain him, and eventually get the takedown later in the rounds. And yeah, if he does that, he could probably win like Jake Shields. Like Jake Shields, he didn't come close to taking Tyron Willy down, but he won just basically off applying the pressure and just outworking him. Even though he didn't do very much, he stalled Tyron Willy's offense because he was constantly pressuring him, constantly trying to get the fight to the ground. But Tyron Willy, he knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to defend the takedowns and take advantage when he's on the feet. And when he's in that position, he needs to land that ground and pound. As for my prediction, I have to go with Tyron Willy by knockout. I'm going to say around like the third round, because I think the first two rounds, Damian Maia, he's going to be very aggressive with his wrestling. Tyron, he's not going to be able to get his striking off as much as he wants to. But I think in that third round, Damian Maia, he's gonna tire a little bit from his repeated takedown attempts, and I think Tyron will probably win. Maybe ground and pound TKO. Next, we have the main event between Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones. Now, this has been a heated brewing rivalry, and Jon Jones, he has the opportunity to really put the nail in the coffin to this rivalry. Shut DC up once and for all in DC. He has the opportunity to shut Jon Jones and spoil his return. As for this fight, they're very well matched opponents. Daniel Cormier, incredible wrestler, very aggressive on the feet. Like, he walks through punches just to land. He's incredibly tough. He survived the Rumble Johnson onslaught twice and came back to finish him. As for this matchup, man, I don't see anywhere that Cormier is better than Jon Jones at. I think they're both strong. What surprised me in the first fight with Jon Jones' strength, he was able to match strength in the clinch with Daniel Cormier, and he was able to even maintain his strength for the longer duration in the fight. I think Cormier, he's gonna have to be ultra aggressive to win this fight. He's gonna have to be just moving forward constantly, constant pressure the whole 5 rounds. His conditioning is gonna have to be great to win this fight. I think Jon Jones, he has a great way of using his length to maintain the distance, and catch his opponents being overly aggressive. He knows how to use them oblique kicks, them side kicks, and he has good straight punch too. I think Jon Jones is just gonna win this one. I think it's gonna go to another decision. I think Daniel Cormier, he shouldn't get overzealous with the wrestling, because I think Jon Jones can maybe catch him in a guillotine if he's too overzealous with the wrestling, if he forces the issue too much, and he'll probably gas out as well. So I think he's gonna wanna mix it up, but stay aggressive. I think Jon Jones is just gonna win this fight. I think he just has equal or better skills to Daniel Cormier everywhere, plus his added length and his IQ. I think he's just gonna win, and he's gonna reclaim his throne. So y'all can go ahead, tell me what y'all think, comment below, like this, subscribe if y'all want to. I'll be doing predictions and analysis for every card.